All right, good morning, traders. Looks like we have a pretty warm market today, warmer than we've had. We got several different things getting some attention. AMC possibly breaking 11. If AMC breaks 11, that could be an interesting trade. It's going to move pretty slow though, but it does look like it's going to try to break here. Nice pattern on that. See, I'm in SNCA, just 50 shares. Got a little uptrend on it. And Microvision is getting some attention today too. Running a couple bucks. Got a nice uptrend on it overall in the last 2 days. XXI popped up and went straight back down. Nothing there. SNCA at this little support area testing at 170. They got a merger going to happen. Good morning, Orlando. So I'm just kind of waiting on SNC. My swing trade is doing very well. My swing trade APLD got all the way up to 173 earlier. It's currently holding this 160 area. It is getting a little extended on the daily chart, so I'm looking to exit this position today. I'm just waiting to see if it gets any more attention and maybe test 2. NAOV just came out. There's some PR, a little flag here. It's gonna run into 130 as resistance. Yeah, you can see that area right there. That flag is holding up, but I may actually go on this as well. I may just go crazy here today. Yeah, I'm gonna go on this. Starting to pop 117. See if this can break up out of this little flag here. Broke pre-market. We should have some support at that 110 area. There's going to be a good bit of resistance at 130. There's past chart resistance and the 50-day is there. If it can break through that, it's going to run into 150, which is going to be more resistance. So it's got a couple areas of resistance ahead for it to really get going. Let me hop into a 2-minute here. This is pretty low float too, so if it really gets some big buying volume, you can see it can rip. You see that buying volume come back in here. But we did just make a new high at 119. SNCA is looking a little rough. Cracking that trend line. Let me see on the 5 minute. The 5 minute, We'll come back and see in a little bit. We are getting hung up in this 118 area. We need to see some more buyers come in, new buyers come in on NAOV. Microvision MVIS possible another U shape here for a possible leg up. Well, we got a lot of buy-in coming in all of a sudden here on NAOV. There still is a wall. There is a wall right here at 118. Ooh. A little strong rejection there. We may be selling off. We doji start out there, and the buy-in could not take out all that wall at 118, and we got rejected pretty hard, so we may start coming back down. This may be a trend reversal going on to the downside, though. I'm in at 118. So I'm going to do a 10-cent stop loss right below that area for now. Yeah, let's see. I may go ahead and get out of SNCA. It's looking pretty rough here. NALV getting bought back up. Let's see, did the SPY turn around or something? No, SPY's still moving up. It's insane SPY. Well, it looks like it's running into a top there. Good morning, Jamie. Move that little triangle. Oops. We do have a bit of a trend line. Check it on the 5 minute. With a 15 minute. And on the 15 minute we went straight up so far. Actually the trend line's more something like that. Yeah, okay. Ah, damn it, come on. Oh, there we go. As long as this continues to build higher lows, If the low is only at that trend line, then we should be good. Just don't know how much lower SNCA can really go. Both the 50 and the 9 are right below it. So I like this play because it had nothing but room to run up. And it could continue to drop. Who knows? You never know with the stock market, but I'm expecting with that good news. Gonna get a pop up. NAOV cracking a little bit here, so damn, that trend line still not working either. We do not want this to drop below 110, because then that'll be a new low. We don't want it to make a new low. If it makes a new low, then it's gonna crack and sell off. Hello there, Anilus. Anilius. So when you see NAOV hold up above this price, this 110, 111, and start to curl back up, see RVPH positive phase 2 trials, very low float, got halted on the way up after breaking this little U shape there. Very interesting. That may be what's taking all the energy out of these other stocks. Ooh, AMC with that breakout at 11. Could have got 50 cents there so far. And this has got room. This has got room to run all the way up to 750. If it breaks 750, it's got room to run up to 878. I definitely want to keep that on watch. That could rip dollars. My stop loss up a little bit on NAOV. Good morning, Super Daniel B. I want to see this candle here push back up. Let's see it push back into that 115 area. So we can continue this curl. If it starts dropping below, then it's going to crack. Needs to push up to the 115 area. APLD, my swing, still looking good. Still in that 160, 170 area. SNCA looks like dog crap. I'm probably about to get stopped out there. I mean, if you've got bearish and bullish signals at the same time, there's not really anything you can do. You just gotta kind of, keep your stop losses tight. I mean, you could sell, but if it's got bullish signals too, then it could break up and you could miss the run. But usually if you're seeing bullish and bearish signals both, it's usually in a triangle. Like right now on NAOV, there's nothing really bearish on it at the moment because it's made higher highs and higher lows. As long as this low holds up, which is why I was saying it needs to push up to 115. But if this makes a higher low here, then we should be able to get a move up to the make a new high if it can continue to curl up. SNCA though, pretty bearish under this downtrend. Until it breaks that downtrend, it's going to be done. Yeah, you just got to kind of make your best educated guess if you've got both of those going on. Just try to minimize your risk with a stop loss. This thing is still halted. When did this get halted? Oh, it just unhalted here. So I don't think I might have enough to go 10 shares. I might take a shot on this in a second. No, just a small shot if I can grab 10 shares, just to see if I can grab a little something out of here. I actually like it at 650. No, I don't have enough right there. So maybe we'll go 5 shares. I like it in that pullback. There we go. I got 5 shares. Oh God, I got filled at the top of that pull. That pullback did not last long. Yeah, I'd have much rather got that at 650 area instead of 689. I may be in a sketchy area. I'm just looking for another quick pop on this to see if it gets halted a second time. If it breaks over 7. There it goes, starting to break over 7. I'm getting rejected at 7 pretty hard. We are making a little flag there at 7. Yeah, see, NAOV did not make that curl up, so now it's starting to come back down. More than likely, we're about to get a sell-off there. Yeah, if it drops below 1.9, that's going to be done. PRPVH still testing 7. Boom, there we go. Moving up, just made a new high at 720. Getting rejected there. Kind of hard, harder than I would like to see. This is not looking great. Needed to continue that momentum. Now it's kind of a little sketchy. Alright, I'm about to have to get out. This is really... Let's see if we can change that trend line though. Really not looking good. See that support, that old resistance was at like 615. Something like that right there. See, NAOV still trying to hold. SNCA maybe going to test the downtrend line. So Anilius, what I would say on if you're losing on those trades, just don't trade those patterns anymore. If they've got like a lot of resistance above them, don't trade them. Just wait for a better opportunity. I just got stopped out on SNCA, so small loss there. Still live on NAOV. RPVH right now has got a lot of attention on it, a lot of volume. The best. Maybe let me fix my chart. The best. I mean, the best opportunities are going to be the ones where you've got the 4 criteria. The lower float, the high volume, some type of pattern like a U shape, like right here, or a triangle. That's for breakout trading. If we're in a choppy market like this and you're looking more for bounce plays, bounces off of support, those are always pretty decent. They may not get a big run but little bounces can be good opportunities. I mean, most of the time, if you're buying at support, you're buying at the floor on something, then you usually get some type of bounce off of that. But the opportunities kind of depend on the market. Like if we're in a hot bull market, then breakouts are going to work really well. If we're in a choppy market like we've been in, then you kind of want to go for more scalps on trend line bounces and support bounces. So we did break that little downtrend there. It looks like RVPH may get ready to go here. If we can re-break 7. Just trying to get that test. Let's see. So we do have a little downtrend there. Little triangle going on. Right under 7. Right under 7, so that needs to break. So yeah, I got stopped out there. There's a $10 loss on that. I may get stopped out on NAOV if it doesn't start coming back up here soon. It's starting to look a little sketchy. We got that downtrend right there. It's got to break. Now let's see RVPH here. Looks like it's going to come back and test 7. Yeah, so Anilius, if that's working for you, then do that. I mean, there's no reason to overcomplicate it. If right now trend lines are what's working for you to buy the bounces off of trend lines, just only do that. Just look for nothing but bounce plays. You don't have to look for a bunch of different plays. Like I know I look for a bunch of different plays, but I have a lot of different strategies in my head that I'm always using and testing, but the bounces off of the trend lines, there's nothing wrong with it. If that works for you, just stick to that. Do it till it doesn't work. No reason to fix something that ain't broke. See if RBPH is going to break out here. It did open out of this triangle, but still getting held at 7. Here we go. Oh no. Got to break over 7. This candle needs to close over 7. No problem. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, you don't have to have 10 strategies to make money in the market. As long as you have one good solid strategy that's constantly working, then that's all you need. And trend line trading, I mean, it doesn't matter the market. There's always usually trend line trades somewhere. Even in a slower market, it just may be a slower trend line, or you may risk the trend line breaking at any point. Oof, that's a nasty little drop. Rejected at 7 again, so I think RVPH, unless it all of a sudden gets bought up right here, is about to crack pretty hard. Because that is an ugly rejection. I'm about to get out of it. See, it is a higher low. Yeah, looking real ugly. If this does not come back up right this second, I'm getting out. See, we got that. So where's that support at? So 603 is at well, 603, 606, something in there, that previous support. Looks like it's going to come down to that support. I'm going to put a stop loss in under that support. I only have 5 shares. I wouldn't have held this long if I had more shares where I got in at, because this thing's very volatile. See, NALV is just going sideways. Just needs some buying volume. Buying volume is left, and pretty much so is the selling volume. Just need some volume on that thing. MVIS still looking pretty good, trying to break up. XXI looks like garbage. Take that off. Reason to look at that. RVPH we're still waiting on. SNCA, that's pretty much done. That just looks terrible. Just straight down. That looks so good in pre-market right through here. Like, this is a beautiful, beautiful uptrend, and just popped up and just got rejected and just died off. I actually had bought it on the uptrend right there in that candle. I was looking for it to bounce off, and it didn't. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you don't get the trend line bounce. What do you mean, these markets? What are you particularly talking about? Are you talking about like the price range I trade, or are you talking about stocks versus cryptos or something? What exactly do you mean by these markets? Are you talking about the current market conditions? The lean hog market. Uh, I mean, you don't have to. There's like, if it's a choppy market like it's been, and you don't want to trade, you absolutely don't have to. There's nothing wrong with protecting your capital. I mean, I've been getting ate up the last couple of weeks. Honestly, it looks like it's been better to swing trade in this choppy market than it has to day trade, because my swing trade is working out wonderful. And this is an OTC stock, but this is this has worked out wonderful so far. I mean, I'm on $90 on this swing, seeing if I can get a little more out of it. But yeah, the choppiness now, I mean, you don't have to trade it. I'm trading it because I would like to be able to be profitable during a choppy market too. So I'm more experimenting right now in this choppy market, because pretty much the whole 6 or 7 years, I don't know what I'm going on now. I don't even know, my birthday's coming up and I don't even know how old I'm gonna be. So but most of my trading career has been on the bullish uptrend run from the 2008 housing market crash. So usually choppy markets don't last that long. They've usually been like a couple of weeks, maybe a month in the past. But we're in choppy financial economic times, and this market's been choppy for a while. And so I'm more or less just trying to figure out what works best in this type of choppy market. I'm trying to adjust to it. So in the future, if I do get into another long-term choppy market like we're in, I'll know the best ways to profit in it. And what I'm seeing is, like I said, swing trading's working. The trend line bounces are working. But buying for breakouts is definitely not working, which I kind of expected in a choppy market. I mean, I've seen that before in like a couple of week choppy markets. Yeah, I've been trading a while. I got a good bit of experience under my belt. I'm not the best trader in the world though. I'm I'm better I'm better, I think, at swing trading and long term holding, because I've done really well on those this last year. This choppy market has really made me look like a terrible day trader. Which, hell, maybe I am. Even after 7 years, maybe I am a bad day trader. But that's the good thing about doing these live streams and stuff. You guys can learn from my mistakes, and not cost you any money to learn from my mistakes. Learn from my successes just as well as my mistakes. There's plenty of times where you get to see get to see what not to do. Yeah, Daniel B. I don't know exactly how long it was. Okay? I have a bad memory. I can't even remember what I ate the other day for lunch. You think I'm gonna remember 6, 7 years ago, 5, 6 years ago? I can tell you how I can figure it out. I think. Let's see, that chart's not really. Let's see if I can find the original chart. ABCC. Or what was it? I'm trying to think of what Aurora's original ticker symbol was. Shit, hold on. You're gonna make me. See, RVPH is trying to hold that support. I got into the markets before the first big cannabis boom, so I don't know how long ago that was exactly, but I got in right before that. Aurora Cannabis was like at $1.80 before the big massive run on it. That's what I remember because I got in at Aurora. See, I got stopped out there on RVPH, so a little ugly loss there. So all we got left today is NAOV. It's, plus, I also count 2020 as about 3 years, so. This business does require a good memory, but that's why I have multiple notebooks. I have apps on my phone that I track a bunch of stuff with. I have TradingView I'm using now for charting to keep up with support and resistance on swing trades and long-term holds. I have a lot of things that can remind my brain like, "Oh, you need to go look at this." It happens to be a new age, Daniel B, where we have storage in the air on the cloud. So your memory only needs to remember how to trade. Whatever identify as round up to 10. I don't know the exact time of when I first started trading, other than it, like I said, Aurora cannabis was under $2. It was still in the OTC markets. So if I look at, there's one way we can get close, I guess. ACB Aurora went, Aurora went public here in 2015. So that's 6 years at least. Aurora was still on the OTC markets. So I would say it's been 7 years would be a good guess, because this is where they uplisted. And then before that, it had ran to, I think, 10 or something like that in the OTC markets. But like I said, I was in all the way near the bottom of $2. So it's been 6 years at least. But anyway, why be concerned with how long I've been trading for? That helps you in no way necessary with your trading or anybody's trading. Like that information, I mean, of course, if you're watching somebody who's giving you information, you want some experience out of them, but in reality, what does it really matter? Like, what does me trading 6, 7, 8 years ago, the accuracy of that, how is that going to affect your trading whatsoever? It's not. It's not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form. So it's really irrelevant. And it's the same thing when you hear people say, I've been trading 20 years. I have all this experience. Well, Orlando's 17 and he's been trading for 3 months now and trades better than me, who's been trading for 6 years. So that doesn't really matter. It's not about other people's trading. If you're focused on other people's trading, then you're making a mistake. You should be focused on your own trading, and that is the only concern that you should have. I don't give two shits what Ross Cameron is doing. I don't give two shits what Daniel B is doing. I got stopped out on the AOV. I'm only concerned with my trading. So 3 losses today, about $25. $25 in losses, but AAPLD still looking strong. My YouTube channel is older than 2019 one life. But anyway, like I said, this all that's irrelevant. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like I have a lot of experience. Am I a good trader? Debatable. Very debatable. But what I am good at is sharing my experience and being somewhat a teacher, or at least I think so. Because some of you guys picked up really, really fast. Like Orlando is Golden Star child. He gets the golden stars on his report card. And there's been other traders too who've come in and done really well. So now we're getting more into entrepreneurial stuff, because procrastination, if you're asking just in the stock market, that's something that's going to go above and beyond just the stock market. If you procrastinate a lot, then there's a couple of ways you can go about it. One is I mentally make myself do things. Like I will if I have stuff to do and I don't feel like doing it and I start procrastinating, I'll notice that I'm procrastinating. I'll be like, okay, dumbass, you're wasting time. Go do it. Just do it. Just do something. So like I'm always just doing something. Whether I'm checking charts, whether I'm recording a video, whether I'm editing, I'm just always making myself do something. Like, because any progress is better than no progress. So if you mentally think like that, you can build your framework to continue to build your wealth. Now, another way you can solve that, if you are still having issues, because I know it's hard to tell yourself to do something, but you have to. Meditation has helped me out a lot mentally to be able to control my brain, because we as little kids, we have pretty strong control of our brain. That's why we're asking all types of questions and learning. And then our brains get desensitized and dumbified by all the media and the Blues Clues. Like, used to, kids' shows would be about learning, and that would keep the kids' brains, growing and being able to do things. But now all the TV shows are nothing but garbage. They don't teach kids anything. Parents put the phones right in the kid's face. Here, play this shark game or whatever on my phone because you're crying. It's things like that. There's a lot of things that this new age of technology that we've been in the past 10, 15 years, and we're starting to see it, it really have effect on kids, as we're seeing these. And I don't want to get political here, but you can see there's a big divide in the country right now because of media and all of that. So basically, short story is we've become dumber as a people, which means that you procrastinate more, but your brain is not working at its best capacity. So meditation can help with that a lot. I know it sounds corny, but I actually love to meditate. You don't have to meditate for a long time. Just do a 30-minute, 20-minute meditation, something like that, and it'll bring you back into your brain, because like I have bad anxiety, so my brain's always running 100 miles an hour, and it's doing that anyway because that's just how my brain works. That's why I do the YouTube and all the different things that I do. But that meditation will bring you back in to your normal consciousness, because there's levels of consciousness depending on a bunch of different factors. This is a scientific area that I'm not that in depth about, but I know just enough to figure out how to make my brain work so optimized for me. Like, my optimized brain is probably still dumber than most of y'all's brains. And I'm not calling y'all dumb, I'm saying that I'm dumb, but because I feel so dumb a lot of times, I have to optimize my brain to be able to absorb information and all that. And that meditation helps with that. Now, another thing too is routines. If you get yourself in a routine, every day you have a certain routine, then your brain will stop thinking about doing stuff and it will just do the stuff that's in that routine. Now, at first it's going to be a little hard, but after 3 weeks or a month goes by of sticking to the same routine, you won't think about it anymore. Like, you literally won't think about it. You will just do the stuff that you've routined your brain to do, and then you can actually use your brain to think of other stuff because you're no longer consciously focusing on what you need to do. You're subconsciously focusing on it. And that goes along with the discipline too. It's kind of this. It's pretty much the same way that you discipline yourself, is getting on routines, sticking to those routines, meditation. It's a lot of psychology. So, like, I tell you guys to learn economics, but another huge thing as an entrepreneur that will help you in life is psychology, not just for yourself, but psychology on other people. Like, in real life, if there's two things that I think should be taught in high school for every kid, especially for entrepreneurial kids, is economics, which includes finances. I would include finances in economics, and psychology. Because if you have a very good understanding of psychology, not only can you better your own self, you can also use it to, I want to phrase this very carefully, but to get what you want. Oh, there's no really nice way to say it, but basically you'll be able to get what you want out of other people without doing anything. So there's a lot to this, but like, if you're going into a bank to get a loan, all right, the way that the loan officer perceives you is going to have a subconscious effect on whether or not they give you that loan before they run your credit and all of that. Like, of course, it's going to be based on your credit and all of that stuff, but if you've got like kind of sketchy credit, then they've got to make a decision. The decision will fall on that person to make it. So when they perceive you, you don't want to come in looking like a hobo or anything, and you don't want to be all slunched over and nervous and all that. You want to come in nicely dressed, nicely cleaned, whatever your dress is, that's nice. Head up, shoulders up, good posture, all of that. Be very assertive and confident when you're talking. More than likely, they're going to give you that loan if it's a sketchy decision where they have to make the loan. And this happens, and you can do this with all types of different things in your life. Not only is it that impression of the way you look, but then when you're talking, if you can psychologically read another person, then you know what they're going to respond well to and what they're not. So if you're trying to drive the conversation to where it benefits you in some way, then you can use that psychology of what you're picking up on that they like. Maybe that person likes to be asked questions about fishing or something. Maybe you see a fishing thing on the wall. So then you say, oh, you like fishing, you've been doing any fishing lately? Well, now no longer is that banker's mind on the loan. The banker's mind is on the fishing. The person loves fishing, so they're going to be in a better mood thinking about doing what they love, which is going to then allow you. It's psychological manipulation, but all's fair in this war of wealth that we're in. We're in a war of wealth. I've said this multiple times, and it's happening on a major level right now. The media and everything is psychologically manipulating everybody. So if you can break out of being psychologically manipulated and be one of the ones psychologically manipulating, then you're going to get a little bit further in life just off of that. So I went off on a bit of a rant there, so let me see where we're at here. Yeah, so Daniel B, if you beat yourself with a rubber hammer, that works, go ahead. So I'm making your optimized brain hurt right now. I'm sorry, Jamie. I know it's like I said, it's kind of a lot, but as an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, psychology will help you out a lot. Yeah, we do argue 20 times a day. No, I'm not. So one life, I'm not like if you heard what I said closely, I said if your credit score is really good and all that, it's not going to matter so much at how you look. You're going to get the loan. What I'm saying is, if you have a sketchy credit score where you may or may not get the loan, where it's going to fall on that loan officer to make the final decision because they have to. There is a system, of course, in the computer they have to fill out, and the system will decide for them. But at any point in time, that person, that loan officer, has control of that mouse. And if they decide that they don't like you for some reason and they don't think you're going to pay the money back, then all they got to do is click cancel on that application and you're not getting that loan. So, I mean, the final decision is on the human being until we have AI that completely makes the whole decision. But because there's a human being clicking on that computer, they could easily just pull up Minesweeper and ignore you the whole time and you wouldn't even know it. So, like, this translates, and maybe the bank loan thing wasn't the best metaphor or best example, but it was the only one I could think of at the moment. So, just basically study psychology. And in Orlando, as far as meditating, there's a lot of you can get. There is apps that you can get if you want. A lot of them are paid. I don't use any of the apps. I have two ways that I've learned to meditate, and it's very tricky. It takes a lot of repetitiveness. Like, so I meditate just about every day, and I've been doing it for 6 months. This is something I recently started doing. So at first, it didn't feel like it was doing anything. Like, I was just sitting there and trying to do what I would watch Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra has a YouTube channel with a bunch of different meditations. So I'd watch him, and you don't actually watch the video. You close your eyes, you get in a comfortable spot, and you just do what he says. He'll tell you to focus on your breath. And what it's really doing is it's getting you to put your brain back to normal. And that's what I was saying earlier is our brains are going all the time and desensitized to so much stuff. Most of the time, I'd say most of us are not in a normal, natural neurological state. We're usually in a heightened state because everything around us right now, especially, is threatening to us. Especially with the brainwashing and stuff that's going on with social media. But when you're not in a heightened state is usually when you're sleeping, or if you're just sitting there relaxing very hard. When you kind of, when you're kind of like kind of tired and you're kind of in and out, almost passing out, that's kind of your natural state, and your body will reset at that natural state if you can get your brain to that natural state. That's the hard part. And it took me 2 months of doing meditation every day before it finally started to work, because I was having to deprogram my brain basically to get back to that natural state. And I'm telling you now, when I do it, I after the meditation, I just feel so much weight lifted off of me, and my brain is so much clearer. Like I can see, I'm able to think so much better. Like I usually do the meditations after the live streams. I probably should do the meditations before the live streams. It would probably help tremendously with my trading. So I may end up switching to doing that, but usually I do them after. And it just helps balance out your brain, because your brain is a crazy thing. There's a lot of stuff with your brain, a lot of tricks, especially like the routine thing, like I was saying, Pavlov, all types of things that you can do to try to train your brain to do what you want. But getting back to that natural state will help you just in life in general. It'll keep your anxiety down. It'll make your body feel better. It's a whole lot of stuff. So you just basically, you just got to keep doing it. And you just got to, like Deepak Chopra will tell you, just to focus on your breath. Don't change your breath. Don't do anything to your breath. Just stop thinking about everything else and only focus on your breath. Now, you are going to have other thoughts. When you have those thoughts, you've got to realize that, oh, those are other thoughts, but I need to focus back on my breath. And as you constantly doing this, your brain is going to sort out all the information that you've been absorbing and all the desensitizedness. It's going to sort it out for you. And then eventually you will get that calm, and your brain will no longer be thinking about anything whatsoever, and you'll only be thinking about your breath. And when you do that, you get into the natural state. It's a whole different feeling than what I feel most of the time. Most of the time I'm anxious, I'm up and going, I'm doing things. My brain's running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So basically, simply enough, you're taking your brain off of 1,000,000 miles an hour back down to 0, which we never really do. Let's see. Well, there absolutely is psychology. There's psychology in trading. There's psychology in everything in life. Everything in life that we do is got to have psychology, because psychology is just the study and the understanding of the brain, of the psyche. So of course there's psychology in trading. There's psychology in anything. If you go to the grocery store, there's psychology all around you. Marketing and advertising itself is psychology. You've been praying for my trading? Yeah. It needs some help here lately. But I've been really busy. I'm not going to give any excuses for my trading, but I have been very busy lately, so my focus has not been as strong as it normally is. So I'm hoping once I get this property, I can ease my brain a little bit, because when I do these real estate investments, it takes focus away from my normal stuff. I'm not aware of ADD, that I have ADHD or ADD. Listen, you can make fun of it all you want. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But I can tell you it works for me. as far as just my general life, you know. So, but if you think that for some reason you think that psychology is not around you, psychology is around you at all times. RPVH is getting held up right now at the 9 EMA, but it has held its gains so far. But it's just going sideways. There's nothing going on. I think it looks to me like we're going to be back into like same thing as last week. MVIS is getting a decent move. NAOV starting to pop up a little bit. But pretty much looks the same type of market. Plus, there's a lot of shenanigans going on right now out of the Biden administration. They're talking about raising capital gains tax to 46%, which is a bunch of words that would probably get me kicked off of YouTube, so I'm not going to say. So, and then they also did something John was telling me about. I can't remember what it was he was saying. They did they passed a thing. They passed some type of thing that doesn't protect traders anymore from basically premeditated pump and dumps. So like a lot of the OTC stocks, there was laws to where if they did some illegal pump and dumping of their own stock, you could do a lawsuit and get paid back some of your money that you lost in that hoodoo. Well, they've undid that, so now you cannot get your money back if you get hoodooed by a pump and dump that was orchestrated by the companies. So that's pretty wild. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't I don't know why anybody's shocked or surprised that Biden has done the things he's done. I mean, he's been a politician in the government for 50 something years. He's never held a job outside of the government. He knows nothing but being a, a crony to corporations and stuff like that. I mean, that wasn't even a question. Like, Wall Street was his biggest backer. He's always had Wall Street endorsements and big corporation and unions. Like, and that, I'm not surprised at all at anything this administration has done. I'm hoping that they are right with their modern monetary theory and the Federal Reserve with all this money printing, but I don't think they are. I think they're going to be very wrong. But yeah, RVPH actually is not looking too bad right now. Daniel B, you need to do some meditation. It would help you. You're such a negative person. You need it. You've got all that build up anxiety and negative emotions towards everybody. You should really do some meditation instead of judging it. And no, you should not put your life savings in Dogecoin. Ether, maybe. No, you should never put your whole life savings in anything. Even if you got like 20,000 to invest, I don't really recommend putting 20,000 in on one thing. I like to diversify and continue to build, because if you put all your eggs in one basket and then somebody comes and takes a shit on your basket of eggs, well, now you got shitty eggs. So you wanna kind of keep your eggs in different baskets. Daniel B needs something, man. He's got so much angriness and anxiety. When buying the dip, I would say it's best to use the 5 minute to look for the dips. Maybe 15 minutes, something that gives you a little bit more better idea of the price action, because you can see on our VPH it's holding up this trend line on the 15 pretty strong. So that's a pretty strong trend line there, and then you can see it on the 5 minute as well. So you could have got it off of that bounce there. Doing it on the 2 minutes on the 1 minute or the 2 minute is a little more trickier. Just because these candles open and close so fast, you might get one that like pops down really quick and then comes right back up, and it might freak you out. So like the 5 minute, if you do have one of those quick little pops down or something, the overall candle on the 5 minute should close above the trend line still, and you're fine. That can happen a lot, but it looks like RVPH may try to break the downtrend here. Now, if you're swinging, yeah, if you're swinging, I definitely wouldn't say weekly chart, but a daily chart for swinging. So like APLD, I never even looked at the intraday chart on to swing this. I just looked at the PR, and I just looked at this sideways consolidation and this breakout it was having on this day. So there was a little U shape of consolidation, breakout, and this thing turned bullish. So this is like the first time this stock has been bullish, at least on a year chart. I'm actually in the max week. Let's see. Whoops, where am I going here? There we go. So yeah, it's the first time this has been bullish in the last year, and as soon as it broke over, that's when I got in, and so far so good. We're climbing up very nicely. We are a little bit off of the trend line. That's why I'm watching the day. I'm wanting to see if it's going to test 2, because I'm probably going to get close to locking it out, because you can see on the 5 minute. Oh, never mind. You can't see it. But anyway, well, yeah, you can. There's a trend line right here on the 5 minute over the last, what the hell chart am I in? 5 minute, yeah. 5 minute, 5 day, yeah. So the last 5 days, it's been on this upward trend line. You can see it's still popping. So that's what I'm looking for, is for it to break too. But yeah, it just depends on what you're doing. Day trading, you're more than likely going to be using the intraday charts, because you're going to be trading intraday trend lines, more than likely. Now you can make a day trade off of a trend line on the daily chart if you see one. I'm trying to look for one. Something that... Here we go. So like this, TGB, you can see this has been in an uptrend for a while. So like if you see it start to come back down towards that uptrend on the daily, well, then you could look for that day trade off of that trend line, but it may end up turning to a swing. That's why I say if you're day trading, more than likely you're going to be trading intraday trend lines, and if you're swing trading or long term holding, then you're really going to be using the daily. See, APLD still climbing up to 180. May try to get to that $2. See, there's not a ton of volume on this, but there never has been. I mean, even back here, it wasn't that much volume, but there's been slow buying. But like so far, I'm up a little over $100 on this because I've been keeping my losses so tight. Even though I've had a lot of losses lately, this win, if I lock it out now, uh, would make up for about 6 or 7 losses. So that right there is just to show that you know consistency is key. Now, a lot of those losses could have been avoided and should have been avoided, and this should be just a completely green win. But sometimes you trade like an idiot, like me, and you lose more than you should be losing. So we'll give the stream about 20 more minutes here. I'm going to take a quick little break. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, or ideas, get those in. Daniel B., why don't you take a meditation break, buddy? Make you a hot cup of tea and go sit out on your porch and just meditate in the sun. You'll feel so much better. All that negativity will be gone. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right. SJ. No. Looking at the daily chart, there's not really a good uptrend on it. It's just more sideways. And this move, if I could get this damn thing out of my way, now I just made another one. Damn it, why won't it let me get this out of the way? Well, anyway, it's not. It's like a small uptrend. Like the uptrend is kind of like right there, which is below all the indicators. So, if it like it's not. It is bullish now. There's some support right there at 11, but I don't know. I would want to see what it does by the end of the day. Like if it comes back down to 10, that would probably be a decent area because that's going to be a strong support area. If you look across there, at $10 area is pretty strong. That's more likely going to be really strong support. And if you was to buy it like right now, and you can see it on the intraday too, where that $10 is strong support. If you were to buy it right now, it could drop down to $10 very easily, and if it cracks $10, it could go even lower. But the 9 EMA is starting to push up, and it's almost at that $10 mark. So that's when you're looking for swing trades, you really want to be looking for as close to the biggest support as you can. Like I didn't APLD I didn't see until after the first big run. Like I caught it on this day. But I liked how it had never been above these price levels before. So this is more of a bullish chart than SJ. Cuz SJ, well, it was up to 1850 the other day, but if we look back, let's see. No, this is a newer chart. I don't know. It may be, like I said, I like the $10 area. It looks like the stock's not even a year old, but I like the $10 area. I don't really like where it's at this moment though. Yeah, and that's another good point too. I didn't even notice that One Life is pointing out there's not very much volume during the day on a lot of these candles. You can see that there was big volume there, and then there was a little bit of volume today, but all the rest of the time, well, this is a very low float stock too, but all the rest of the time it's not had that much volume. I don't know. I'd say it's worth keeping on watch for now. Because that $10 is going to be strong support. That looks like where it's IPO'd at. So, I mean, as of now, it is bullish. And it is above that strong support. But even APLD, the last 5 days has had nice volume candles. Although, like I said, this is not very much volume on the daily. Like this, Let's see if I can see it. Well, because of the way I have my chart, I can't see how much volume this exactly is, but I guarantee it's not that much. But still, you can see there's some volume on this versus SJ where there's not a ton of volume. I would actually keep it on watch because it's not this NFT news that it has, and it's in China. I would keep it on watch. I'd maybe dig into it a little bit more, but I wouldn't ignore it. I wouldn't ignore it like Daniel B's saying. I would keep it on watch for this week. I mean, so do U.S. companies, One Life. What's your point? Daniel B, I would consider you more of a snowflake than Orlando. You melt under heat as soon as heat hits you. You can't take criticism. You can only give it. So calling him a snowflake is real hypocritical. Just because you can give shit doesn't mean that you're fit to be out in this world. You can give all the shit you want, but if you can't take it, then you're the snowflake, sir. But your messaging is not wrong. The real world is, you know, I would rather know someone like Daniel B, who I know is a crazy shit talking a hole, than know someone who smiles all the time and tries to persuade me to do things, and I don't know him that well. Like Daniel B, you get his crazy emotions and all that stuff. So you know where he's coming from. You know that he's not, like, as much as an a-hole he is, he's not a bad guy. You know, you can tell he's got some wits about him, and he's not trying to hoodoo or trick anybody. But I think it was Malcolm X who said it best, and this is this is kind of racial, but if you take skin color out of it completely, he said the white liberal is your worst enemy. And if you look at that, like I said, if you take skin color out of that and you look at it on a base level, the liberals have always said to the black community, we will help you, we will do this. They're always smiling in your face, supporting. Those are the people I'm weary of. No matter, like I said, take skin color out of it. The people smiling in your face all the time, trying to trying to smooze you with cupcakes or whatever. those are the ones where you got to ask yourself, and this goes back to my whole psychology rant that I went on, and understanding psychology so you can understand this. People who do that, they could be a good person. They could be. But out here in the world where we're trying to survive, it's all about survival. Like I said, I keep calling it the war of wealth. You gotta be careful. You know, I would rather work with somebody like Daniel B than work with somebody like I don't know. The only example I can think of off the top of my head is Joe Biden. You know, Biden smiling and laughing and all that. Destiny's Child is a survivor. Who is I don't know who you're referring to, Daniel B. Because I know you're not referring to me when you're talking about I won't stand up for myself and go cry to daddy. I know you're not talking about me. If you look at the past history of my chart, I don't have a brittle bone in my body. But you're only considered a bully and an a hole in this chat because you are. A lot of times you're not even trying to help people. You're just talking shit. So I mean, nobody's crying because you're talking shit. Like all the stuff that you say, Daniel B. I don't like nobody's upset because you say you're crazy needling talking. So I mean, you don't know everybody's past history to be making that call. You don't know Orlando's history to be saying that somebody's gonna cry and go home to daddy or whatever. You don't know what people's been through, so they even try to make that claim is just that's crazy, and that's the type of stuff when you say where I have to call you out on because you're just talking crazy. Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate that. Smashing that like button. That's what I'm saying. Like you know, this chat is not about trying to prepare people for the real world. I'm assuming most people, if you're in this chat, you've already got your ass bent over by the real world and you're trying to figure out how to come up in this real world. Because Daniel B is right, the system itself, everything in place, the government, the Federal Reserve, everything that's going on is going to punch you and kick you and it's going to knock you down and you got to get back up, metaphorically speaking. But yeah, Daniel B, you have for one, you can't call people stupid when you are refused. Like stupid is your perspective. If everybody's stupid to you, that's your perspective. More than likely, though, your perspective is wrong. So You calling people stupid and you don't need to know people. They're snowflakes. That's just crazy talk, man. It's just crazy talk. And like I said, he is a no. Daniel B's not a wild animal. Daniel B's a Chihuahua. He is a loud ass barker. A loud ass Chihuahua. That's what he is. He's all bark and no substance. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Orlando. Tell him. Tell him. Make that Chihuahua go lay in his doggy bed. Get over in your bed, Daniel B. Go lay down. You stop barking at everybody. But yes, this chat is about building community. We're trying to all be, friends, acquaintances on Rig. Let's check it out. We want a friendly, peaceful learning environment. It's a lot easier to learn peacefully than it is to learn with a chihuahua barking in your ear every 5 minutes about nonsense and comparing things like cryptos to tulips. So, shipping companies, without even doing any technical analysis right away, shipping companies are kind of a tricky beast. And here's why. They do a lot of reverse splits. I'm out of funds. I didn't buy it, but like I said, it was on that nice trend line. So like it's hard to really do technical analysis on these. Like most of these shipper stocks are going to look like this on the long term. Like Tops is another one. And you see it's just crazy because these companies do so many reverse splits. They're not I don't know. There's something about the way they run their businesses that they don't run them very well. And it may just be because of the cost it takes to maintain their ships and all of that. And they probably don't want to really show much profit because they want to save as much as they can on taxes, because I'm sure there's a lot of regulations that cost money to do trans-ocean type of shipping and that type of stuff. So these plays are really tricky. I personally do not like to day. Well, I'll day trade them, but I don't personally like to long term hold them or swing them. Plus, there's a lot of different factors where something could go wrong. I mean, like just the other, like what, 2 weeks ago, that one ship got lodged sideways in Cairo, whatever, in that channel, and it blocked up all the shipping. So like weird things like that can happen. So I just personally I don't like them for all those reasons. Technical analysis side though, I mean it has been on an uptrend right here, but the uptrend is cracked, so it's no longer on the uptrend. It's just kind of going sideways right now. Well, actually, you got a downtrend at the moment. So until it breaks this downtrend, which it's below the 9, it's below the 50, it's a little bearish. But I wouldn't worry about it until I see it break the downtrend. They're an offshore driller. I thought Transocean was a shipping company. Let me see. Oh, so they're not a shipping company. It's like you said, they're an offshore driller, but they've got a fleet of the ships and stuff, so it's similar. This one always usually runs with the other shippers. That's why I thought this was a shipper, but still, it's an oil stock, and I don't like oil stocks, especially right now with the Green New Deal and everything else coming out. I would be very weary of any oil stocks. Exactly, Orlando. Exactly. Cut the BS and cut straight to the good, valuable information. I mean, basically, for an oil stock, all I would do is just look at crude oil. I don't see why. I mean, like I said, it's in that downtrend. It broke the uptrend. It's just kind of sideways. There's nothing really there at the moment. I mean, you could look maybe for an entry off of the 100-day moving average, maybe in this $3 area, but I don't know. Like I said, with the Green New Deal that they're trying to pass, or whatever, whoever's trying to do whatever with all this renewable energy, I'd be very weary of oil at the moment. Should, if you are kind of correct, Elvis, it is going to take a while before oil gets completely X'd out, but it doesn't have to be X'd out to drop in value by a whole lot. And the reason why I think that, and the reason why I'm weary, is because if they do this Green New Deal, if they pass that legislation, more than likely it's going to tax this company at a higher rate, which is going to have to be factored into the valuation of the company. The company's going to have to change the way, they're going to have to cut costs somewhere to make up for those tax raises that they're probably going to get hit with. And more than likely those tax raises, just the thought of those, like this, the market is usually ahead of the economy and the politics. It usually already factors in these type of things, but the Green New Deal is just now coming on the table, but they are trying to pass it pretty quick. And if it starts catching any wind, then this stock could easily drop. Now, it could rebound after that comes out, but usually the market factors in information early. I don't think it's quite factored in yet. So that's another reason why I'd be kind of weary on it. Daniel B, real question. What do you recommend people get their information from? Where do you recommend they get it from? Where's the best source of information that you can where you can get good information from, proper information, as you say? because for RVPH starting to pop up. Yeah, it's still slowly climbing, but yeah, getting close. Needs to break over that 720. Needs to make a new high. But I want to hear, Daniel B, where you get your magical proper information, because the fact you even said proper information is very easily retortable. But I want to wait for you to answer and see how you answer this before I make you look like the genius you are. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Even Warren Buffett, who supposedly is the greatest trader ever or whatever, he lost a ton of money last year. These old investors coming that are trying to use their old tactics in this new age market where there's so many different new factors that's never been around, is not working as well. Oh, the Bible. Oh, you get it from the Bible. Okay, see, I didn't even have to retort. I could have retorted that whole sentence you said, but instead you gave me a stupid answer just to prove that, you refuse to actually, you refuse to actually help anybody. You just want to talk shit and just help people. So good job there, buddy. You did it to yourself. I didn't have to do it. No, I mean, Warren Buffett, when I say trader, there's not really a difference. I said this before. I think I said this last week. There's not really a difference in the word trader and investor. It's both the same thing. You're buying low in hopes that somebody will buy it from you at a higher price. That's all it is. Trader is used more short term, but Warren Buffett himself is not investing or trading. He's not sitting at a computer doing any of what we're doing. Warren Buffett has teams of people. Like, he's probably got like a whole locker room football team of traders and investors, and I know he's got computer algorithms. Like, he's not doing what we're doing. So like, it's not, I don't know. No, you're giving Warren Buffett too much credit to even call him a dill hunter. Do your history on Warren Buffett, and you will see he did not get rich off of investing and trading. He started an insurance company, took everybody else's money who invested or who bought insurance, and he invested their money. The whole thing I was saying Friday about using other people's money and reading the Rich Dad Kiyosaki, you want to use Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki book. That's what that book teaches, is that you use other people's money to get rich, not your own. So Warren Buffett mastered that. That is what Warren Buffett is good at. He mastered the art of spending other people's money instead of his own. That's the key to Warren Buffett. It's not that he's some great deal hunter or investor. He actually learned very young that using other people's money is the way that you go about it. Daniel B., he started an insurance company. That's where his money came from. Jesus Christ, man. You talk like you know so much shit, and then the basicest things you don't even know. Right here, Warren Buffett took his first serious dive into the insurance business. 52-year love story. 52 years to the day since Warren Buffett. Yeah, see? He first bought a Texaco station, but that did not go well. All right? If you do your research, the majority of his money Warren Buffett is a meth head. Sure, maybe he did invest 80K, but the way he got to billions was the insurance company. That was his trick. He figured that out. Yeah, and then that's how they become billionaires, because they bought an insurance company and used everybody else's money to invest in huge purchases in the stock market. Yes, you're arguing a point that is mute. The timing is irrelevant of if he was 21 or 26 or who he partnered with. He did not become a billionaire until after that insurance company. I'm not going to argue with you over Warren Buffett because it doesn't matter. This is the same thing that Orlando was talking about. This is useless information. I don't give a shit what Warren Buffett does. I don't care what he does. I could care less. I only care what I'm doing. What my money is doing. Why do I care about Warren Buffett's money? That's his money. He does what he wants with it. But my whole point was that he's not the greatest investor. He's not the golden god of investors. He just lost billions last year off of betting on airlines and whatever else. So, I mean, but I don't like when people give him such credit that he's such a great investor. Well, yeah, when you own an insurance company and you got billions of dollars of other people's money you can throw at the market, well, then you really didn't risk very much. So you're not really trading or investing. You're just using other people's money. I don't care enough about Warren Buffett to keep arguing about it, Daniel B. It's irrelevant. What is Warren Buffett doing for me right now? What is Warren Buffett doing for you right now? I mean, what money is Warren Buffett putting in your pocket? None. And knowing his whole life story is not putting money in your pocket either. So, like, what are we even talking about? Baba, the old Alibaba. I mean, it's down right now. It's in a pretty decent area. Let's look at the max chart here and see. I mean, really, it's not down at all. Overall chart, it's pretty bullish. The trend line is way down here, where the 200-day is, but you do have some support right through here where it's bouncing off of. So, I mean, these areas might not be too bad. Because it was resistance there and resistance here, but then it's held up as support right through here, and then here the last couple of days it's tried to hold up as support. So Um, not too bad. It is on a current downtrend right there, that little steep downtrend, but that'll probably break soon. The thing is, right now with longer term holds, do what make your own decisions and do your own due diligence. But I'm still bearish on the entire stock market. Like, the market keeps climbing, but I'm bearish. And looking at it, the max chart, like I said, like I've been showing on the max chart, the trend line for the SPY is way down here. This move since March is just ridiculous. This is dumbness. This is the Federal Reserve pumping money in the stock market. You look back at the price chart history of all of the SPY, the S&P 500, there's not a straight up move like this. So I'm still very bearish on the market. Alibaba is, I think, Chinese owned. So I don't know what the effects will be on the China market if the U.S. market crashes, if there will be any effects. I personally do like getting a few foreign picks outside of the U.S. I've not done a ton of research on it yet, but Japan is in some interesting territory where their market may double. So maybe looking at some Japanese stocks. But I mean, I don't hate Baba where it's at. Oh, I'm on the SPY. I was wondering why that pattern looked different. I don't hate Baba. Like I said, overall it's on an uptrend. Just currently it's in this downtrend correcting, but pretty good support in the area it's at. That's pretty decent. RVPH, nice climb up the trend line still, breaking up out. So see, I this is what I was talking about way earlier in the stream. I bought for the breakout here, and really I should have waited. It wasn't a breakout. I bought out of the halt looking for it to continue up, and it did push up a little bit, but should have waited, because then if you'd have waited and let this trend line form, you could easily got a position in through here on the trend line, and then you'd be up quite a bit. So once again, these trend line plays working out really well in this market. You just kind of get to give it some time. That first 30 minutes has just been so sketchy. First hour, really. Okay, so we're still arguing about other traders instead of focusing on our own trading. So that's a great example, Daniel B. I don't give two shits about Stanley Druckenmiller because he's not putting any money in my pocket. So don't care. I only care about my pockets, not other people's pockets. Patience is the biggest key to success. Great way to drop the a good little bomb there. A good little tidbit. Patience is always key. So, One Life hopping out of here. I think I'm about to hop out of here. If you guys got any more questions, real quick, get those in, or any other stocks you want me to take a quick look at before I roll out. I had to go to 10, but you're rich. And then I'm going to go about my day worrying about my pockets instead of some guy who made some money somewhere along the line 10 years ago or whenever. Instead of worrying about his pockets, I've got my own pockets to worry about. Maybe once I get to, the $1 million level, then I can worry about other investors' pockets. But right now, I'm on my own mission. I don't know if it'll go to 10. Because that 200 day is going to be really strong. It's struggling right now at the 100 day, but I could see it hit the 200 day, maybe that 850, 860 area. But I don't think today we would see this break over 10. Maybe over the week we might see it get over 10, but I don't think so now. MVIS still on its little uptrend. OCGN on a little uptrend after a direct offering. Interesting. So real quick, for you cryptos traders out there, before we go, and I'm actually probably going to do this a little later too, but I was doing some charting last night on some of these cryptos, and I want to point out something. That I noticed, and I'm not saying go run out and I'm not saying go run out and buy Bitcoin, but there's been a lot of talk about the market slowing down and being bearish. But looking at Bitcoin, you can see I've charted this out. We are still on a massive uptrend. That red line right here, which actually I want that to be a green line, not a red line. I don't know why that's red. I want it to be thicker. So we're on this massive uptrend still. But not only that, these are support and resistance levels. And you can see right that 50,000 area, it came down again, but bounced off of that. And we're still building higher lows. So we got low here, low here, low here. I still think that Bitcoin may have a little bit more left in it. And last night you can see I drew this downtrend line, which I can now remove because Bitcoin has bounced and broken that downtrend line. So I think crypto's still got a little bit more heat left in them. Bitcoin may not break out up over 65 soon, but get the hell out of here. But if it does break below 50,000, I think it's only going to go to this 40,000 because there's some support there and the trend line is right there. But basically, if you pull the chart over, we've got about a month or two before the trend line catches up with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin could rip up. I still am pretty bullish on it. I think it's probably going to go to 75,000 before it has a real big pullback. But looking at this chart, it could pull back to this downtrend at any time, which is that 42,000 area, and then I would really like it in that 40,000, 42,000 area. But essentially what we want to see is this kind of move around, Bitcoin kind of move around like this until it catches up with the trend line, maybe around this area, and then see a big explosion off of the trend line. So right now, I think we're in some consolidation while Bitcoin is catching up to that. Litecoin and some other ones too. And actually Litecoin looks really, really good. Where'd my charting on Litecoin go? I don't know where my charting went. But anyway, Litecoin is on this straight up uptrend. This recent pullback, it didn't even get down to the uptrend. And then it does also have some support and resistance right in this 244 area, which is right where it's hitting at today. If it breaks back above that, I think that starts holding as a new support area. But Litecoin's bullish as hell. There's nothing about this that says that Litecoin is not bullish. Ether the same way. Like I said, I could be wrong. I'm not saying go out and buy any of this, but I was just looking because I know I was seeing a lot of headlines and stuff that the crypto run was over and it was done. But you look at Ethereum. Ethereum's on a beautiful uptrend, and actually it's in this triangle right now. Move that triangle a little bit, but it's bull flagging. And if it breaks up out of that, Ethereum will probably go to 2,800 next. So, just some things to think about if you like the cryptos. No, Bitcoin's not going to 30K. Oh, you asked me about the best silver ETF. I'm not particularly familiar with one silver ETF. There's one. Let's see, what is the ticker symbol? Oh God, I can't remember. Let me hold on. Let me grab my phone real quick. I think I have shares of one, or I have like a little bit of one. I can't remember the ticker symbol. There's not a ton of silver ETFs that are strictly silver that I'm aware of. But hold on just a second. Well, I don't know how long that mic has been muted for, but I've been sitting here talking for a minute. Did you guys hear the whole crypto spill? God, I don't know how long that was muted for. Listen, I say all the time, I'm dumb. I can admit that I'm dumb. I'll call myself dumb all day. But calling other people dumb, that's just not cool. But didn't catch any of it. You didn't hear anything about the cryptos or anything. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back through this really quick. All right. So while I'm on silver, silver is in this flag right now. If you look at silver, this line right here was old support. That old support is holding up as resistance, but silver is it's consolidating right here, getting very close to breaking up out of this triangle. I think if silver breaks over 30, then it's going to probably go on a nice bull run, but it clearly is trying to break out. It is disconnected from reality, though. You can't buy a troy ounce at spot price for $26 anywhere. If you're able to find that, that would be very shocking, but you're more than likely not going to be able to do that. So I don't really invest in silver ETFs. There was one silver ETF that I did invest in for a little bit, but the holdings of that ETF was nothing but actual silver. There was no company stocks or anything. So there's not really an ETF I would say that I would grab more than the physical. Like, I just like the physical silver. I like having it on my person and stuff. But you can trade the ETFs. There's a lot of different ways. In my silver video of my collection and some different things is coming out probably today or tomorrow. But yeah, with ETFs, I'm not a big ETF trader. I think I said this last week. I like to look at the companies within the ETF and pick out the ones that I like the most instead of just buying a whole random basket of stocks within an ETF. So ETF's not really my thing. I just use them to find better stocks or whatnot. But silver is on this bullish run. Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin is definitely not going down to 30,000 like One Life said. That's what I was showing. Let me get off the silver. Here we go. Get out of here. Yes, leave. Oh, okay. So, okay, I see what's going on here. What I was showing with Bitcoin and... Where you at, Bitcoin? Did I spell Bitcoin wrong? What's going on? There we go. Where's all my charting? Let's see. I've got it on a different one. Maybe it's Bitfinex. Yeah, okay, there it is. It's on Bitfinex or whatever. Bitfinex. Doesn't matter. It's still Bitcoin US dollar. But Bitcoin is on this overall trend line, this big green trend line. So it could pull back down to this trend line, but it also has this old resistance here at 40,000 and the trend line. So more than likely, the lowest that Bitcoin will go is 40,000. It's still bullish though. I mean, it's above the trend line. There was this support that was resistance back through here. It held up as support a little bit through there. And you can see today Bitcoin has bounced right off of that. It was in a straight downtrend, but now that little downtrend, that little short-term downtrend is broken. And it's actually back above this 52,000 area of support. So if Bitcoin closes over 52,000 a day, then this bull run is still on and probably going to get up to 75. That's what I'm looking at, is 75. Litecoin, very bullish still. If I can find Litecoin again. Here we go. Litecoin, nice uptrend. Not even came close to the bottom of the uptrend either. Building higher lows, higher highs. And Ethereum is in a triangle. Ethereum's on an overall uptrend. Whoops. I don't know why I do that. There we go. So overall, Ether's in that uptrend like I was saying. At this current moment, it's making a flag. Ethereum, I think, is probably going to break over 2,500 here soon and make a next leg up to 3,000. But all three of these main cryptos, Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, they're not bearish. They are still bullish no matter what the news headlines are saying. Until they break these trend lines, they're bullish. So I don't think this crypto run is over yet. I mean, to me, it doesn't look like it's even close to being over. This is a trading view. This is a trading views charting stuff. It's pretty decent. Because I can't really... There's not a lot of cryptos I can look at on Thinkorswim. So I use this for crypto charting and for precious metals charting and whatever else I'm looking for, but yeah, I don't think we're done with this bull run. I think what happened this last week with Bitcoin, where did you go? Yeah, I think this pullback here was just a nice, healthy pullback. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So, but we'll see. Like I said, they're not close to none of them are close to the trend line. So, they got a ways to drop before they become bearish. Here we go again. Here we go again. We're going to keep comparing advanced technology that disrupts all sectors to flowers. We're just going to keep doing this every day, huh, Daniel B? Why would you buy silver at the consolidation? I buy silver all the time. I buy silver monthly. I don't really care about the chart. Like I like the way the chart's looking, and silver's looking like it's going to break out. But I mean, I've been buying silver for 2 years. $20, $25, $26. That's still cheap if you can get it for that cheap. But like I said, right now at this moment, the spot price is disconnected from the reality, and you're probably not going to find any troy ounces for under 30. Maybe not even under 35. Hype on SRENN, I do not know. Don't know what's going on with it. Apparently Kramer talked about it. And that's probably what it is, because that's the only thing I see. Oh, let's see. A week ago, they derived some type of stem cell and achieved 100% discharge rate in critically ill COVID-19 patients. They met primary objectives. This is phase 1 study, so very early studies. It'd be one to keep on watch, because it was in February all the way up to 17, and now it's around $8. Got a lot of resistance at 9. Yeah, strong resistance right across there at 9. You can see where it hit multiple times, and the indicators are at 9 as well. But if they come out, because that was only phase 1B, when they come out with phase 2, positive phase 2, they probably will get a jump if they come out with positive phase 2. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Daniel V. Yeah, yeah, exactly. One life. The Federal Reserve is working on a digital currency for the U.S. A digital dollar, which I don't. It doesn't make any sense because the dollar already is pretty much digital. But I mean, every country is working on a crypto. The whole world is going to be running on blockchain and crypto very soon. Tulips is, yeah, like literally for you to call as many people for you to call people stupid all the time when you compare blockchain technology to tulips, that's that's really insane. Like that is so insane. like I can't I just can't get over that you want to compare this to tulips. Like sure there's overhype in cryptos. There's no doubt about that. Nobody said that it wasn't overhyped. But to compare it to Tulip Mania or anything else is insane because it's not a mania. It's the same thing as like almost like the dot com bubble. Like yeah, the dot com bubble people did lose a lot of money, but not everybody lost a lot of money. The people who bought Amazon, bought Apple, bought Google, bought whatever, the companies that are still around and that are worth thousands of percent more than they were, those opportunities are going to be there. Not every token and coin and project is going to make it, but the ones that do and the people who invested in the ones that do make it, the ones that do change the world, are going to be very, very wealthy. I don't think it's gonna go to 10 one life. I think you've got up to the 200 day at 864. I think that's as far as you got. This 870, 864 area. I don't see it breaking all three of these indicators today. Maybe over the next couple of days, but not today. That I mean, pushing through the 50, pushing through the 100, and this 200 is going to be the strongest. I'd be surprised if it breaks over that. It could, but that's going to be some strong resistance, in my opinion. Going to 20 now. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. There will be more stuffs coming out. We will be back tomorrow. You guys, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there. Until next time. Stay faith for faith.